Hey everybody, thanks for joining me for class today. Today's a 30-minute Vinyasa flow with the theme of back bending. So to begin, lie flat on your back, have your knees bent, feet on the mat, and the arms down by your sides. And I'm just going to take a quick moment to plug. I'm going to be leading a yoga retreat in Umbria, Italy, July 31st through August 6th in 2022. So next summer, and I'm going to have a link for more information on that retreat in the description box for this practice. So you're on your back, and I invite you to now join the tips of your pointer fingers and the tips of your thumbs together, forming a circle there. And this mudra, or hand gesture, as it's referred to, a mudra in yoga, is called Jnana mudra. So it's the mudra of wisdom. So now I invite you to bring to mind something you'd like to know more of, a topic you want to know more on, whether it's for pleasure, if it's a hobby, or maybe a language you've always wanted to know how to speak a certain language, or if it's a personal career goal, if there's something professional you'd like to have more knowledge on in your career. Just bring that to mind, whatever it is. And then choosing to keep the mudra or not, gently release your thoughts of what you'd like to know more of, and now let your awareness shift to your breath. For these first couple of breaths, simply try not to change anything about your breath, watching your inhales and exhales. And then gradually, I'd like you to deepen your inhales and exhales and slow down your breathing as well. Allow your inhales and exhales to match in length as well as depth. And if you like to practice with Ujjayi Pranayama, you can start to introduce Ujjayi Pranayama. So let's release the mudra, keep your long, even inhales and exhales, and let's start with a little bit of pelvic tilting. So imagining your pelvis as a bowl. As you exhale, start to tilt that bowl towards the face, kind of bringing your hip bones up towards the abs. And as you inhale, tilt the bowl the opposite direction. You'll find a little arch in the back as you tilt your pelvis, or the bowl, if you're imagining as a bowl, towards the feet. And just do a couple of those small movements. Be aware that you're pressing your feet into the ground. You're using a little bit of pressure in the hands. And then I invite you to, as you exhale and tilt the pelvis towards you, press into the feet and slowly lift your hips a little bit higher, going towards a bridge pose. No need to go into full extension in your bridge pose as you inhale, lowering the hips back down. Exhale, press into the feet, curl the tailbone, lift your hips. Inhale, set that down. Option here, if you'd like to, add in your arms as you inhale. As you exhale, press into the feet, maybe reach your arms up and overhead as you lift your hips. Inhale, bring the arms back down by your sides as you lower the hips down. Two more like that. As you exhale, press into the feet, lift your hips, maybe reach the arms overhead, and the arms are optional. Inhale, lower back down. And then pick the feet up, hug your knees into the chest, rock gently side to side. And then slowly we're going to make our way up to a seated position. So whether that's rocking up and down a couple of times along the spine or rolling off to your side and pressing up, either way, go ahead and join me in a child's pose. We're going to flip all the way over now. Your knees are bent. Reach the arms out in front of you and send the hips back towards the heels, keeping in mind it's okay if your heels and your hips don't connect. It's also okay if your forehead isn't connected to the mat here as well. But try to find a little bit of length in your spine. Still being mindful that your inhales and exhales are even in length and depth. And then next inhale, we're going to walk our hands over to the right side of the mat for a gentle side body stretch. Keep your arms shoulders distance apart here. And gently roll the left shoulder down as well. Inhale. As you exhale, go to the other side, hands to the left side of the mat. Now you're stretching the right side of the body, but again, keep your hands shoulders distance apart here. Inhale. As you exhale, come back to center, and then gaze forward. We're going to snake the body through, come to a prone position, lying flat on your belly now. And we're going to stretch the quadriceps here. So bend the elbows, let your forehead rest on your hands, and then reach back with the right arm, bend the right knee. And you might find you like to use a strap here. You can use a strap or a belt or a towel if you don't have a yoga strap. We're going to reach for the top of the right foot and gently draw that right heel to the outside of the right glute for a gentle quadricep stretch here. On an exhale, release the right side, switch out the hands, and then bend the left knee, reaching around with the left arm to grab the top of your left foot. Keep just a little bit of energy in that right leg. Gently press the top of the right foot down. And you're drawing the left heel to the outside of your left glute. On an exhale, gently release, avoid slingshotting. Let your head rest on the hands once again. Inhale. As you exhale, lift your legs, both of the legs off of the mat. Inhale, lower the legs down. Exhale, lift. Inhale, lower. Exhale, lift the legs any amount. And then we're going to reverse that. Now let the legs do the resting. The arms are going to come down by your sides. Forehead rests on the mat. Inhale. As you exhale, just the upper body lifts. Focus on keeping the toes pressing down. Inhale, lower. Exhale to lift any amount, just the upper body. Inhale, lower. Exhale, using the back body muscles, and then inhale, lower down. Bend the elbows, tuck your toes under, and then press up to a tabletop position from here. Wrists under the shoulders, knees under your hips. As you inhale, arch the spine, lift the gaze for cat. This is cow, excuse me. As you exhale, round the back, chin to chest. This is cat pose. Inhale, come forward, arch the spine, lift the gaze, broaden across your collarbones, move as big or as small as you feel comfortable today. Exhale, round the back, chin to chest. Push the earth away with the hands. Find just one more round. Inhale, arch and lift for cow. As you exhale, tuck and round for cat. Inhale, come back to a neutral tabletop position. We're going to do some wrist stretching. So keep the left hand as it is. Come to the top of the right hand. Your fingers are going to face towards the knees, and just give a couple of wiggles to your right fingers. Just doing one arm at a time here, and then bring the right palm back to neutral. Now come onto the top of the left hand. Fingers will face towards the knees. Give some wiggles to the left fingers. Bring the hands back to neutral, and then turn both of your hands at the same time. Fingers will face to the sides of your mat. And then if that's comfortable enough, if you want to move side to side as you gently transfer your weight a little more into one hand and the other. Again, your fingers are out to the sides here. Come back to your neutral tabletop position, and then keeping the right palm flat, you're going to face the right fingers towards the knee once again, so your inner wrist is facing the top of your mat. And if you'd like to, you can move forward and back with that. Bring the right hand back to neutral, flip the left fingers, palm still facing down towards the knee, so that your inner left wrist faces the front of the mat. If that's comfortable enough and you want to move a little more back and forth, go right ahead. My cat Luna is video bombing my video here, so come back to a neutral tabletop position with the hands, and then tuck your toes, lift the hips. We're going to go to downward facing dog from there. If you wanted to, you could give a little shake out of the wrists before you go into down dog. I forgot to add that in here. But once you're in downward facing dog, any movements that you want to make, feel free to make them. Bending the knees, swaying the hips side to side, maybe nodding the head out, yes and no, whatever feels comfortable for your first down dog of this practice. And again, always coming back to your steady inhales and exhales. Make sure the breath stays smooth and even throughout your entire practice. On your next inhale, come to your toes, bend the knees, gaze forward, walk the feet behind the wrists for a forward fold. Bend in the knees here is absolutely fine. As you inhale, lengthen your spine. Keep the gaze down as you bring your fingers to the shins for a half lift, Ardha Uttanasana. As you exhale, refold over the legs. Let your head be really, really heavy, and then you're going to take a deep bend in the knees. Slowly on your inhale, rise to standing. And really do be mindful that you're doing it nice and slowly, articulating one vertebra at a time as you stand up. Once you're upright, roll the shoulders, stand nice and tall. And then we're going to move through 3 classic Surya Namaskar A's, 3 sun salutes. Inhale, reach your arms out to the sides and up. As you exhale, forward fold over your legs. Inhale, take a halfway lift, lengthen your spine. Again, keep your gaze down so the back of the neck stays long. As you exhale, step your feet back to plank pose. Drop the knees, hug the elbows in, come onto your belly. Inhale, lift the chest, low cobra. Exhale, lower down, tuck the toes. Exhale, downward facing dog. A breath or two here. Noticing there's no tension in the jaw or the face. Maybe let a deep sigh out on your exhale to release that tension in the jaw. On your next inhale, rise to the toes. Bend the knees, gaze forward. Exhale, walk the feet behind the wrists, forward fold. Inhale, Ardha Uttanasana, halfway lift. Keep the back of the neck long. Exhale, forward fold. Inhale, press down through your feet. Rise to standing as you reach your arms out and up. Exhale, bring your hands to heart. Steady balance. Inhale, reach the arms out and up. As you exhale, forward fold over your legs. Inhale, halfway lift, lengthen your spine. Exhale, bend the knees, step back to plank pose. Your choice, knees up or down. Once again, lower onto your belly. Untuck the toes, inhale, low cobra, high cobra, or upward facing dog if you're ready for up dog. Exhale, downward facing dog. A few breaths here, coming back to your steady inhale and exhale. Spread through the fingers, press the weight into the hands. Firm up the legs as well. Find as much length in your spine as you can in downward facing dog. Inhale, come to your toes, bend the knees, gaze forward. Exhale, walk, or if you'd like, hop the feet up by the hands. Inhale, halfway lift. Exhale, keep the length as you forward fold. Inhale, press down through your feet, rise to standing, Urdhva Hastasana. Exhale, hands to heart, steady balance here. One more. Inhale, reach the arms out and up. Exhale, forward fold. Inhale, halfway lift, lengthen your spine. Exhale, keep the length, step back to plank pose, yogi's choice, knees up or down, lower halfway or all the way, chaturanga. Inhale, back bend of choice. Exhale, over the toes, downward facing dog. And as you go from upward dog to downward dog, really use your legs to help make that transition. Once you're in down dog again, steady inhales and exhales. Inhale, rise to your toes, bend the knees, gaze forward, walk or lightly hop the feet up. Inhale, half lift. Exhale, forward fold. Inhale, press down, rise to standing. Reach the arms out and up. Exhale, bring your hands to the heart. And then go ahead and bring your hands to the hips. If your feet aren't already, make sure your feet are hips distance apart here. And with the weight in the right foot, we're going to start to drag those left toes back, bend the front knee, your right knee, until you're in a high lunge position. And I'm going to encourage you to bend your back knee even much more than mine is, just so that your low back feels long and not scrunched here. And then go ahead and reach your arms up, bend the right elbow, and then with the left hand, find the top of that right elbow for just a gentle tricep stretch here. Exhale, release, lean forward, left hand down, reach the right arm up, twist. If you need some assistance, I invite you to place a block underneath that left hand. And maybe look down if looking up isn't good for your neck. Exhale, unwind. Inhale, rise up to high lunge. And if you want a little assistance, you can interlace your fingers on that right knee. And then we're going to step forward back to Tadasana at the top of the mat for the other side. So weight in the left foot, drag those right toes back until you're in your high lunge position. Again, bending the back knee is significant for your low back. Inhale, reach the arms up. Exhale now, bend your left arm, and with the right hand, find the left elbow and find that gentle tricep stretch. Keep the front ribs from flaring out. Draw your low belly in, lengthen the tailbone down. Exhale, release the tricep stretch, lean forward. Right hand comes down to the ground or a block. Inhale, reach your left arm up, twist. Keep your back leg engaged, and again, not necessary to look up. You can keep your gaze in a position that feels okay for your neck. On your next exhale, unwind from the twist. Inhale, rise to standing. And then again, if you need a little assistance, interlace the fingers above your left knee and kind of use that weight to, or press into the left knee as you come up to standing. And then reset back at the top of the mat, Tadasana. Hands to prayer. Inhale, reach the arms out and up. Exhale, forward fold over the legs. Inhale, halfway lift, lengthen. As you exhale, take a vinyasa or skip all of these vinyasas if you'd like to, and always the option to just instead go right away to downward facing dog. Meet yourself wherever you're at on the mat today. Inhale, reach your left leg up. As you exhale, step the right foot forward. Once again, come into that high lunge position. You can take that same tricep stretch if you'd like to, or this is where the intermediate part of practice comes into play. If you'd like to take cow face arms, that's an option. The right elbow points up, left arm out to the side, spin the thumbs down, spin your left thumb down, and then bend the left elbow so your left elbow points down and the right elbow points up. Or stick with the first variation we just did. Exhale, release the arm stretch, open up so you're in an open arm twist, and then either prayer twist, hooking the left elbow across the right knee, or I invite you to take the twist we just did, variation with your open arms, and the left hand is either on the ground or a block. Exhale, unwind from your twist. As you inhale, bring the arms down to the mat, take a vinyasa, or go right away to downward facing dog, yogi's choice, do what's best for you. Inhale, lift your left leg. As you exhale, step the left foot up by the hand, back knee lifts, high lunge once again. Either option for tricep stretch, first variation we did, or maybe you'll take cow face arms. Right arm will come out to the side, spin the thumb down, bend the right elbow so your right elbow points down and your left elbow points up. It's a big stretch for the arms, so if you're finding that it's not coming to you easily, that's perfectly normal and that's perfectly okay. You're still a good person. And then exhale, go ahead and release whatever tricep stretch you were in. Again, now we're going to twist, either hook the right elbow across for a prayer twist or bring the right hand down to the ground or a yoga block and find your twist here. Keep anchoring through the back foot, lengthening through the crown of the head. Inhale gets you longer, exhale, maybe twist deeper. Unwind from your twist, exhale, inhale, come down through plank pose, maybe through a vinyasa or to downward facing dog right away. And re-establish your steady inhale and exhale as you breathe here. And always an option, since we're watching videos, you can always press pause, regather yourself whenever you need, and join back when you feel ready. But do keep going. Don't give up altogether. Inhale, step your feet forward. Exhale, forward fold. Inhale, halfway lift. Exhale, fold. And then inhale, rise to standing once again, Urdhva Hastasana. Bring your hands to the hips. Take a nice wide stance. So step your right foot back. Turn both of your toes to face the long edge of the mat. Option 2, tee the arms out to the sides and maybe find a bind behind you. Inhale, lengthen, and exhale, forward fold with your arm bind. Now I have my fingers interlaced here. You could take that variation. You could have a strap once again to bind the arms, or you could take ragdoll, or just bending at the elbows behind the back as another variation for an arm stretch. Hug the outer hips, inner thighs. Really be strong in your legs here and really let your head be heavy as you reach your head towards the ground. Some days we get a little further down than others, and that's just how it is. Exhale, release your arm bind. Inhale, take a half lift here, and then exhale with a flat back, come up to standing, but then switch the feet out. So now your toes are going to point out, your heels are going to face in towards one another, and make sure here that you're not doing this duck butt where the low back is arched and your front ribs are flared. You really want your tailbone to be tucked under and your rib cage not flaring out. If you'd like to, I invite you to reach the arms out and up. We're just getting some strength in the legs is all. And then exhale, release that, bring your hands to the hips, walk or hop the feet together, and then come back to the top of your mat. Bring hands to prayer, inhale, exhale. Inhale, reach the arms out and up. Exhale, forward fold. Inhale, halfway lift. Exhale through chaturanga. Inhale, back bend of choice. Exhale, downward facing dog. Inhale, lift your right leg. Exhale, bring the right foot forward, warrior 2. Spin your left heel down and cartwheel open your arms. As you inhale, take a reverse warrior, option to wrap that left arm behind you for a half bound reverse warrior. And then as you inhale, slide forward, option to keep that half bind into a side angle pose. And then if you're feeling it, you can go to a full bound side angle, but again, these are all really big openers for the shoulders. That's where the intermediate aspect of this class comes into play. So do what you can. Meet yourself where you're at today. Release your bind, and then we're going to step that left foot The left knee comes right behind the right foot, and we're going to come to sit down. If you need to watch that again, my cueing definitely wasn't there. But either way, from that high lunge position, now you're going to be on your seat, and we're going to take Navasana pose. Navasana, you can have your knees bent, hands on the ground for assistance. You could have your hands grasping behind your thighs, or you could have legs and arms straight. And then we're going to, from there, find reverse tabletop. So bring the hands down, feet flat. As you exhale, lift the hips. You can keep your chin tucked, or you can let your head go back any amount at all for reverse table, and then slowly inhale, lower, and then exhale, either come back through a vinyasa or go right away to downward facing dog. We'll do the other side. Inhale, lift your left leg. Exhale, warrior two, left foot in between the hands, spin the right heel down, cartwheel the arms open. Inhale, lean back, half bound, reverse warrior, wrap the right arm behind you as you lean back with the left arm. As you inhale, keep that half bind, lean forward, side angle pose. Your left forearm can come to your thigh, or you can reach the left arm down. If you'd like to, you can take a full bind here, bringing the left arm underneath the thigh. On your exhale, gently release the hands, and then you're going to spin that right heel up. So looking right where your left heel is, that right knee is going to come right behind your left heel. So you'll take a big step forward with that back foot, kind of kick that right shin out to the side, come down onto your seat, onto the bottom, and find Navasana pose. So again, hands on the ground, knees lifted, maybe grasp behind the thighs, or reach your arms up, biceps in line with the ears, and you can maybe extend the legs if you're there. Whatever variation of boat pose you're in, breathe, soften your face and jaw, and then exhale, bring the hands down, reverse tabletop position. If you need a little more giving on the hands, point your fingers out to the sides rather than pointing your fingers towards the heels. Letting the head go back any amount, and then slowly tuck the chin in, set everything down. If you want a little more ab work, cross at your shins, press anything that you can up, and then come through either a vinyasa or just meet me in downward facing dog. Smoothen your inhales and exhales, release any tension in the face. Inhale, ripple the spine forward to plank pose. Exhale, slowly, knees up or down, come onto your belly. Untuck the toes. Now we're going to combine our arms and legs from that practice we did earlier. Reach your arms out in front of you. Inhale, legs are long behind you. As you exhale, lift into Salambasana. Inhale, lower down. Exhale, lift, arms and legs. Inhale, lower. Exhale, lift, pause at the top. Keep the fingers reaching forward. Keep your toes reaching back. Press into the pubic bone. Lift your belly away. Swim the arms down by the sides. Let everything rest on the mat. You can turn your head and let one ear rest to the side. You can stick with that variation of Salambasana we just did, or if you'd like, I'll invite you to bend the knees. Reach for the tops of your feet to find Dhanurasana bow pose. Inhale here. As you exhale, press into the feet, find some resistance as your chest starts to lift, your knees start to lift, and try to keep your knees hips distance apart here. Avoid displaying the knees out to the sides. Inhale, lifting higher. Exhale, trying to keep that lift. Next exhale, slowly release. Keep your knees bent or bend them if they were long, and then windshield wiper your legs side to side, letting the other ear rest on the mat. Extend your legs long, bend the elbows, hands come under the shoulders. Let's press back into a child's pose from here. 1 or 2 breaths. Maybe 3 or 4 breaths. Just keep breathing here, long inhales and exhales. And then now we're going to lift up, swing the legs around, come on down onto your back for more back bending. Bend the knees. Keep your chin tucked, slowly roll one vertebra at a time down onto your back. Walk the feet a little bit closer, have the arms down by your sides, and we're going to press into a bridge pose here. Inhale, prepare. As you exhale, press into the feet, curl the tailbone, lift your hips, bridge pose. You can keep your palms flat, or if you'd like to, option to bind the arms or interlace the fingers underneath you. Think about pointing your knees and toes straight forward. Do think about pressing your feet into the mat here and using the pressing of the feet to lift your hips a little bit higher. On an exhale, gently release your hands, lower all the way down. Rest for a moment. You can do another round of bridge pose, or if you'd like to, find Urdhva Dhanurasana, upward facing bow pose. Bend the elbows, fingers face towards your heels. Inhale. As you exhale, press into the feet, slowly lift your hips, upward facing bow pose. You'll straighten the arms. As you look back towards the wall behind you, keep pressing your chest towards that wall and roll the inner thighs down. Whether you're in bridge or bow pose, roll the inner thighs down. And whichever variation you're in, let's slowly exhale, release. And again, windshield wiper your legs from side to side, bending one knee and then the other, twisting one way and then the other, rather. And then pick the feet up, hug your knees to chest, make a couple circles with your knees. Just do anything that feels good to release the back here. And then taking at least 3 rocks, we're going to come up to seated, or you can roll off to the side and lift up to seated that way. And then we're going to take a wide leg forward fold here. So extend your legs out to the sides. Bring the hands behind you, press into the palms, find a nice straight spine here. And then with the hands behind you, if you find that you can release the hands to the front of you, keeping your spine straight like that, then I'll invite you to slowly walk your hands forward for a bit of a forward fold here. But because Upavishta Konasana, wide-legged forward fold, most of the time, even just sitting up in this position gives you enough of a stretch. If the position of the legs gets compromised when you start to go into a forward fold, meaning your toes roll inwards, I'd invite you just to keep yourself seated straight up and find your way to breathe into that position there, because this is an uncomfortable pose for many. So if you're finding that, you are not alone. Take 2 more breaths here, long inhales and exhales, soft face and jaw. Slowly on your next exhale, if you forward fold, slowly come back up. Let's face the front of the mat once again, and if you turned at least, and then slowly we're going to come onto the back for a final resting pose, Shavasana. Before we do that though, I think I added in, happy baby. So bend the knees, pick the feet up, bend the knees into your armpits, shine the soles of the feet up towards the sky or the ceiling, reach for the inner or outer arches of your feet. And then a different variation of Upavishta Konasana. So instead of seated, this kind of inverted variation where you wrap your peace fingers around the big toes, extend your legs any amount, and then if you want to rock side to side. So that could be a maybe more accessible way to practice Upavishta Konasana rather than in that seated position. Once you feel complete in your practice, and especially because we are on YouTube and you have the ability to pause, add in any final postures you want for your practice, I'll encourage you to do that, and then join me when you feel ready for final resting pose, Shavasana. Releasing your breath control, allow your body to release as much as you can onto the mat. Finding some quietness in the mind. The mind doesn't like to be quiet, so if you're finding you're having a hard time keeping the concentration on a single point of focus, that's all right. It takes many, many times to form that habit of redirecting your awareness to your breath. So do that now. Focus on the gentle rise and fall of your belly or the flow of air at the nostrils. Or simply say inhale and exhale as you're breathing in and out. And then slowly, whenever you're ready, start to make your way onto the side. In the fetal position, pause a moment there. Think of something to be grateful for. Slowly make your way to a comfortable seated position. And we're going to spend just a few more quiet moments in a seated meditation with Jhana Mudra with the hands. So tips of your pointer fingers and thumbs come to touch. Let your palms rest facing up on the thighs. Bring to mind once again whatever it is, that topic or subject that you'd like to know more of, you'd like to have more knowledge on. Again, this is Jhana Mudra, the mudra of wisdom. Our quote today from Vita Scooter says, "It is through creating, not possessing, that life is revealed." Through creating, not possessing, that life is revealed. Join me now. Bring the palms in front of the hearts. Honor yourself, honor your practice today. Thank you for taking the time to practice. Bring the hands to the forehead, reminding us to have clear and loving thoughts. Hands to the heart, reminding us to have clear and loving intentions. Hands to the mouth to remind us to have clear and loving communications. Join me as we send positive energy out to all beings everywhere. Thank you for joining me for practice today. Namaste, everybody. And again, if you'd like to join me in Italy next summer, those dates are July 31st through August 6th, 2022. The link to that will be below in the description.